Have you ever wondered why certain things in your life happened the way they did? Why someone hurt you so deeply? Why a job ended without warning? Or why one unexpected moment seemed to turn your whole world upside down? It might seem like everything was just random or unfair, but what if it wasn't? What if those moments were not mistakes, not accidents, but important parts of your life story? Parts that were meant to change you in ways you couldn't yet understand. It's not easy to think that the hardest moments of your life might actually hold meaning, that the people who caused you pain, the losses you didn't see coming, and the disappointments that crushed your spirit might have arrived to help you grow. But somewhere deep inside, long before you were born, a wiser, calmer version of you already understood this. That deeper part of you knew that growth would not come only through comfort, but through experience, especially the experiences that stretch your heart, test your patience, and demand your strength. That person who betrayed you or broke your trust, that job that ended without a reason, that unexpected loss that shook your world. As painful as they were, they shaped you. They opened your eyes. They taught you what safety couldn't. And even though those moments may have felt cruel or unfair, they brought you closer to parts of yourself you never knew were there. Your courage, your compassion, your resilience. Long before you had a name, a face, or a body, the real you, the part of you that exists beyond what anyone can see, was already moving, already aware, already preparing. Life didn't begin the day you were born. A deeper journey began far earlier. Not everything was planned, but the bigger pieces were. The kind of family you'd be born into, the challenges you'd face, the people who would walk beside you, and even those who would hurt you. All of it had a purpose. These weren't punishments. They were pieces of a path you were brave enough to walk. You might not remember making that choice, but you did. You said yes to this life, even knowing it would not be easy. You knew there would be laughter and love, but also heartbreak and loss. Still, you chose to come here because you believed that what you would learn in this life would be worth it, that it would make you stronger, more whole, more awake. And even though some of the big moments may have been placed on your path, what you do with them has always been your decision. You are not a puppet, and your life is not a script you're forced to follow. You have the power to choose, to forgive or to hold on to anger, to love or to shut down, to keep going or to give up. Every time you choose growth over fear, love over resentment, patience over frustration, you step more fully into the person you came here to become. Sometimes you get a strange feeling that you've been through something before, even though you haven't. Or you meet someone and feel an instant connection, like you've known them forever. These aren't just coincidences. They're small signs that something deeper is at work, that you're remembering, even if just for a moment, the path you came here to walk. These feelings are like gentle reminders that you're not lost. You're finding your way back to yourself. Some of the hardest moments in life are the ones that push you back toward your purpose. A loss can make you focus on what really matters. A failure can lead to a new beginning. A heartbreak can reveal how deeply you can feel. These experiences, as painful as they are, carry hidden wisdom. They show you the kind of strength you only discover when you have no choice but to be strong. We often see life as something that just happens to us, as if we're at the mercy of fate, or luck, or other people's choices. But you are more than just a passenger. You're a participant. You're connected to others in ways that go beyond explanation. Some people were always going to cross your path, not by accident, but by design. Some would stay and love you. Others would test you. Each one was part of the journey. Even the people who challenged you the most may have come into your life for a reason. That doesn't mean what they did was okay. Hurt is still hurt. But pain has a strange way of making us face the parts of ourselves we usually ignore. It brings things to the surface. It demands our attention. And in that discomfort, something shifts. We become more aware, more open, more real. Some of the people in your life feel like they've always been close to you, even if you just met. Others seem to show up exactly when you need them, offering help, encouragement, or support when you were about to give up. And then there are those who come into your life like lightning, fast, unexpected, and unforgettable. They shake everything up. They wake you up. And even if they leave behind something that stays with you forever. And sometimes, it's not just about you. Sometimes entire groups of people go through something at the same time. A crisis, a movement, a moment that changes everything. These are not just random events. They are opportunities for shared growth. They remind us that we're all connected, that our individual stories are part of a much larger picture. Every single thing you go through matters. The joy, the sadness, the confusion, the breakthroughs. Every piece of your life is helping you become more of who you truly are. Even when you don't understand why something is happening, even when you feel lost, you are still learning, still growing, still moving forward. You came here to learn how to love deeply, even when love is hard, to forgive, even when your heart is broken, to be strong, even when you're tired, to be kind, even when the world feels cruel, to let go, even when everything in you wants to hold on. These are not easy lessons, but they are the ones that change everything. You might not always know if you're doing it right. You might question your choices. You might wonder if you've taken a wrong turn. But life gives you clues. When the same kind of problem keeps showing up in different forms, it's not because you're cursed. It's because there's still something to learn. And the moment you respond differently, when you finally say no to what drains you, or yes to what heals you, that pattern begins to break. You'll also notice moments that feel like magic. A phone call at the perfect time. A stranger who says exactly what you needed to hear. A door opening just when you were about to give up. These moments are reminders that you're not walking this path alone. That even when you can't see the bigger picture, something is guiding you toward it. You'll feel it inside, too. A quiet voice that says, keep going. Even when everything feels wrong, something inside won't let you quit. That voice is your reminder that you're still connected to something bigger, that you're still becoming who you were meant to be. People will come and go from your life. Some will stay for years. Others will drift away after their part is done. That's not failure. That's change. And sometimes, letting go of someone is not about loss. It's about trust. Trusting that their role is complete, and your journey needs to continue in a different direction. And as time goes on, you'll start to notice the biggest change of all, yourself. You'll see that you don't react the same way you used to, that the things that once triggered you no longer control you, that you've become more patient, more thoughtful, more peaceful. These are the quiet victories, the ones no one may see, but they matter more than anything. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. You don't have to have everything figured out to be on the right path. You just have to keep showing up, keep learning, keep choosing love, even when it's hard. Keep trusting, even when it hurts, because every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to yourself. You are not here by mistake. Your story is not an accident. Every twist and turn, every heartbreak and healing, every goodbye and every beginning, it all has meaning. And even if you can't see it right now, one day you will. One day, it will all make sense. For now, just know this: you are growing, you are becoming, and that is more than enough. Sometimes the people who challenge us the most are the ones we never expected to be part of our most painful moments. They might be family members, romantic partners, coworkers, or close friends. They enter our lives and bring with them situations that test our patience, shake our confidence, and even leave scars. But over time, we start to see something we couldn't before: that these difficult relationships were part of our growth. Their role wasn't to break us, even if it felt that way. It was to wake something up inside us. Maybe we needed to learn how to protect ourselves. Maybe we needed to finally say no. Maybe we needed to learn how to forgive, not just others, but ourselves. The truth is, even the most painful connections often have hidden meaning. They push us into self-discovery, into healing, into becoming stronger and more aware of our worth. When we're stuck in conflict or carrying the weight of betrayal, it's almost impossible to believe that there could be any meaning in our suffering. Pain can cloud everything, but time has a way of softening the edges. Distance brings perspective, and eventually, we begin to understand that we weren't just being punished or targeted, we were being transformed. That doesn't mean the pain is erased, but it begins to feel like something we lived through for a reason. We stop seeing ourselves as powerless victims and start to realize that we're active participants in our own healing. We're learning through experience, and that kind of learning changes us at the deepest level. Pain stops being something we just survive. It becomes something we learn from, grow through, and rise above. Sometimes we carry this idea that everything in life is already decided, like we're just acting out a script that was written long ago. We think that maybe we agreed to certain situations before we were born, and now we have no choice but to play our part. But that's not how life really works. The future isn't a prison. Life isn't fixed. It moves, and we move with it. The plans we may have started with were never meant to trap us. They were simply blueprints, possibilities, rough sketches. We are allowed to change our minds. We are allowed to grow out of old roles, even if we once thought we were supposed to stay in them forever. What mattered to us before might not matter now. What felt right 5 years ago might not feel right today. And that's okay. We are allowed to adjust. We are allowed to choose again. There are moments in life that feel like crossroads, when everything inside us says it's time for change, even if the world around us keeps trying to pull us back into the same patterns. These moments often come quietly. They don't always announce themselves. Sometimes they come as restlessness, as frustration, as exhaustion, as a quiet knowing that we're meant for something else. These are the moments when something inside us says, I don't want to live like this anymore. And in that moment, we begin to take our power back. Even if we don't know what comes next, even if we're scared, that first honest thought is the beginning of a new chapter. Letting go of what no longer serves us is one of the hardest things we'll ever do, especially when it's something we once loved or believed in, especially when it's something we built our identity around. But staying in something that drains us, just because we once thought it was right, only holds us back. When we leave a toxic relationship, when we quit a job that's been making us sick, when we step away from patterns we inherited but never agreed to, that's not giving up. That's waking up. That's choosing ourselves. And when we make that choice with clarity and courage, everything around us begins to shift. New opportunities appear. New people show up. And most importantly, we start to feel alive again. Sometimes the decision to change doesn't come from the mind. It comes from the soul. It comes quietly, like a whisper, or it erupts suddenly after years of silence. Either way, it's a sign that we're ready for more, that we've grown, that the old way no longer fits. Life begins to rearrange itself. The job starts falling apart. The relationship no longer feels fulfilling. The routine starts to feel empty. At first, it feels like everything is going wrong. But what's really happening is that something deeper is being made new. The old story is breaking so a new one can be written. Some connections are only meant to last for a season. Some experiences were only ever meant to carry us through one part of the journey. When they've done what they came to do, it's okay to release them. It doesn't mean we failed. It doesn't mean we're ungrateful. It means we've grown. Knowing when to walk away is a form of wisdom. It means we're paying attention to our inner life. It means we're honoring what we've become. Staying in situations that no longer support who we are becoming only brings more pain. Letting go is not always easy, but it is always a step toward freedom. It's easy to confuse past consequences with unchangeable destiny. Many people believe that the hardships they're facing are punishments for past actions. But pain isn't always punishment. Sometimes it's a consequence. Yes. Sometimes it's the result of choices we've made. But other times, it's just part of learning. Life doesn't want to punish us. It wants us to grow. And we grow through reflection. We grow through choices. We grow by trying, falling, getting back up, and trying again. The experiences that hurt the most often contain the lessons we needed most. Every action we take, every word we speak, every feeling we carry creates a kind of ripple. That ripple touches other people, and eventually, it comes back to us. This is not a threat. It's a reminder that everything is connected. When we put kindness and honesty into the world, we're more likely to receive kindness and honesty in return. When we put out anger, fear, or resentment, we may find ourselves surrounded by those same things. This isn't personal revenge. It's just how life balances itself. The energy we send out doesn't disappear. It circles back. And when we understand that, we start to live more intentionally. We can start understanding our life more deeply by simply paying attention. Our inner voice, our gut feeling, our intuition, often knows things before our mind catches up. That feeling that something is off, or that something is calling us forward is not random. It's a message. When we start listening to it, we make better choices. We start saying yes to what nourishes us and no to what drains us. We stop making decisions out of fear and start choosing based on truth. Our dreams, too, can offer insights. The things we dream about repeatedly, the people who show up in our sleep, the symbols that stay with us after we wake up, all of these are clues. They're not just stories. They're messages from a deeper part of ourselves. Paying attention to those dreams can help us see what we've been avoiding during the day. We can also learn by simply watching our own lives. What patterns keep showing up? What problems repeat themselves over and over again? What kinds of people do we attract again and again? If we keep facing the same challenges, it's because there's something we haven't fully learned yet. Once we learn the lesson, the pattern starts to fade. And recognizing the pattern is the first step to changing it. There's incredible power in forgiveness, not just forgiving others, but forgiving ourselves. Forgiving ourselves for staying in situations that hurt us, for ignoring our needs, for pretending we were okay when we weren't, for all the times we didn't protect our own hearts. Self-forgiveness isn't about letting ourselves off the hook. It's about saying, I understand now. I won't repeat this. I deserve better. Forgiveness frees up space inside us. It clears out the heavy feelings. It gives us back our energy. We don't need complicated rituals to let go of the past. Sometimes it's as simple as sitting alone and having an honest conversation with ourselves, writing a letter we'll never send, breathing deeply and saying, I release this now. These small acts carry great power. They start the process of healing. They remind us that we are not trapped. One of the deepest questions we ask ourselves is, why am I here? Not just in the big, dramatic sense, but in the quiet moments. When we're doing dishes or sitting in traffic, we wonder if our lives have meaning, if what we're doing matters. That question isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something inside us is waking up. It's a sign that we're ready to live more fully. Purpose doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be public. Sometimes purpose is found in the quiet work of healing your family, in raising kind children, in being a safe place for someone else to fall apart, in being the one who refuses to pass down pain. Purpose is in the small things, in the choices you make every day, in the way you show up when no one is watching, in the way you love people who can't love you back, in the way you refuse to stop hoping, even when everything feels heavy. When you're living in alignment with who you really are, life feels different. Even when it's hard, it feels honest. Even when you're tired, you know it's worth it. You may not be rich or famous, but you feel fulfilled. That's how you know you're living your purpose. Not because everything is perfect, but because your heart is at peace. No one else can define your path for you. Only you know what lights you up. Only you know what feels real. You don't need anyone's permission to change your life. You don't need a map. You just need to trust yourself enough to take the first step. Life will meet you there. And every time you choose what's true for you, you'll feel a little more whole. You'll feel a little more free. And that freedom is what you've been searching for all along.